Hello everybody, I'm Armen Alaverdyan, I'm from Armenia and I'm a board member of the European Network on Independent Living, ENIL, and also I'm executive director of Unison NGO, an Armenian disabled people's organization which fights for equal rights and for independent living of disabled people in Armenia. I will briefly describe you the situation in Armenia with COVID-19. Though the situation is slowly improving, we still have high numbers of infected persons and deaths. Surprisingly, our government has made no efforts to support disabled people during the pandemic. We have about 30 government programs which are aimed to support different groups of people and companies, etc., but none of them targets disabled people. Of course, disabled people can benefit from other programs, but it's very important that we have disability-oriented, disability-focused programs, which we don't. We have no personal assistance supported by the government, and we have a draft law on the rights of persons with disabilities. Unfortunately, its adoption was postponed due to COVID-19. So we still don't have any kind of personal assistance. We even don't know how many disabled people contracted COVID-19 virus. The only publicly available information is about a group home for elderly people, which also includes some disabled people, naturally. And there were several dozens of persons who were infected. Fortunately, all of them survived. Another issue is accessibility. As we don't have many accessible hospitals, even those which were redesigned for treatment of COVID-19 patients are not fully accessible for disabled people, especially for wheelchair users. In brief, we find that the work of government is not satisfactory, and more efforts are needed to provide for equal opportunities, equal treatment of people with and without disabilities in Armenia. A few words about what my organization, Unison NGO, does during these times. We have very, very limited resources now, but still we were able to raise awareness of disabled people on pandemics, on protective measures, and on other related issues. Moreover, we managed to continue our employment program, and several disabled people were hired and got their permanent jobs during the pandemic, when many non-disabled people lose their jobs. Because of the quarantine, many non-disabled people are aware now of what is to be confined to their homes, what is to stay at home all the time for 1 month or for 2 months. And this is our positive message to the global community. Now that many people are aware of such limitations, we may use this fact in our future advocate activities to promote accessibility for people with limited mobility and for all other people. Also, we must promote information accessibility. I would have to say that none of the programs and none of the announcements related to the pandemic were provided in alternative format, accessible for deaf people, for blind people, and for people with mental disabilities, etc. And of course, we lack independent living, and we even more lack the independent living now during the pandemic times. And we should all work tirelessly to promote the idea of fully independent living for disabled people all over the world. And of course, here we in Armenia also are joining to this movement. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for listening. Stay healthy.